Welcome to Lunchtime with a Librarian. My name is Mary Bear Shannon. I'm a reference librarian at the Haverford Township Free Library, and I'm glad that you have joined us today. Lunchtime with a Librarian is a program that we do every fourth Friday at 12:30. We put it on Facebook and then we put it on our YouTube channel. So if you're looking for past interviews of some of our staff or other supporters of the library, you can find them on our the Haverford Township Free Library's YouTube channel. But today I am joined by Amanda Falwell, who is our latest addition here at the Haverford Township Free Library. Amanda is working with me in the reference department, and we are so excited to have her here. She is doing reference work, but she's also our technology librarian. So we are very excited for her to be here. So welcome, Amanda, and thank you for being willing to be today for Lunchtime with a Librarian. So let's get started. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, let me think. I love to read, and I love to write. And this is my first job in a library, and I'm super excited to be here. I've been working toward this for a long time. I think I just got my master's degree. So I'm really excited to be here, and I'm really excited to learn about the community and about the library in general.
Okay. And what do you love most working in a library? Can you name one thing?
Yeah.
Or many things?
Actually, I love helping people. I love books. So I love being around books first. Second is that I love being able to find answers for people who have questions and who need information. I love being that person who can just help somebody get some information that they need to complete a task or do something.
Okay. And what did you do before you came to the Haverford Township Free Library?
Oh, I've done so many things. Okay, let me think. I helped my friend manage mud runs. I worked in a corn maze as a children's performer. I worked as a CNA in an elderly community. I worked at Best Buy as a sales associate there, which is where I got a lot of my information and knowledge about technology, which I'm bringing to this position. And now I work here.
That's awesome. Great.
So yeah, I've done a lot.
And did you grow up around here?
I grew up not far from here, about an hour away, in a place called Gilbertsville, Pennsylvania. It is just north of Pottstown. So it's kind of the suburbs. It's close enough to this area, I guess. The country's a big place, and it's not very far from here as the crow flies.
So you get Kate Winslet's accent in The Mayor of Whittingham.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've read articles about that.
Yeah, and you get it.
Yeah, I do.
Good. So what drew you to libraries?
Well, I've always loved to read. So it was kind of natural for me to gravitate toward a place where they had lots of books. But I also love information. I love learning. Learning is super important to me. Not just school, though school is important, but lifelong learning is really important. And so I wanted to be part of that and be part of, the cycle of lifelong learning. And I think that the library is a really important part of that. And I wanted to be part of that too.
Amen. And so what are some of your favorite books?
Well, some of my favorite books, let me think. I have so many books that I really like. I think ones that I read over and over and over. The Discworld novels by Terry Pratchett. I love the Discworld novels. They're kind of a fantastical satire with kind of like an English sensibility because he was English. And I love a book called Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King. It's kind of like his fantasy inroads. Not necessarily, some of his darker stuff, but I really liked it. Yeah, those are probably my favorites.
So in terms of genre, it sounds like maybe fantasy is your favorite. Do you have some other favorite genres?
Science fiction and fantasy are my favorites, but fiction, literature, and I do enjoy reading nonfiction as well, um, like history, historical nonfiction, and things like that, and biology, sciences. I'm really into reading about the sciences. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's funny. I find myself, who is not a scientist, actually being more drawn to science nonfiction as I've gotten older.
yeah. I come from a family of scientists, so it kind of was a natural for me to start reading that stuff when I was younger, and it just even I started reading Stephen Jay Gould's books
Mhm.
in like middle school, so it just progressed from there.
Okay. Um, and what were some of your favorite books growing up?
Okay. Um, so my favorite book is The Phantom Toll Booth by Norton Juster.
Yep.
It was a huge um, integral part of how I grew up and perceive the world, and it's really interesting. Also, I don't know who wrote it, but there was a book called Dangerous Spaces that my grandmother gave me when I was a child that did a lot to form my perceptions of things as well. So I would say that that's one of my favorites. And of course, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe series. You know, got to go with the classics.
Yep. Yep.
And those were really good as well.
Absolutely. They were some of my favorites too.
Yeah.
So, all right. Um, and aside from reading, do you have some other hobbies?
Yes. I let me think. I work on jewelry. I make jewelry and work on beadwork. So I make chainmail and bead weaving jewelry. I also take photographs. I have a DSLR, so I'm trying to learn how to take better quality photographs and things like that, and expand that hobby a little bit.
Hmm. Well, we have a great bead bead store here in Havertown called the Bead Garden.
Oh,
Um,
I know. I saw it already when I was driving home. I saw it to the
yeah.
side, and I thought, oh, I need to check that store
Yes,
out.
it's great, and they do instruction there too. So it's a really great resource for our community.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Um, so, where do you like to travel and visit? And do you have anything on your bucket list of places you want to see?
Well, one of my favorite places I've ever been to, I went on a trip in high school to Germany, and we saw a castle there called Neuschwanstein. It's actually the castle that they modeled the Disney castle after, and it's really a beautiful place. And the person who constructed it and painted the different acts from an opera along the top. So he made it this very theatrical looking structure, which I really liked because it very much integrated the artistic aspects of the opera with the architectural aspects of the castle. Um, Other than that, my family goes on vacation every year as a huge group with my immediate family, my siblings, and their kids. And I go either to Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, every year, or Maine. My dad really enjoys, cabins in Maine. So we either go down south to the beach or up north to a cabin, and then you usually do that once a year for about a week.
And anything you haven't seen that it's like on your bucket list?
Well, I am a huge fan of fairy tales. I should have mentioned this. Growing up, I loved the mythology, Greco-Roman mythology, and I loved um, Grimm's fairy tales, all fairy tales. So I would love to see the Schwarzwald, which is the German Black Forest in Germany, where a lot of the fairy tales were kind of based on the whole forest, natural forest wilderness fairy thing. And I really want to experience because I love being outside and I love the forest anyway. And I would really love to be able to experience being there.
Ooh, that's and we do have a very good fairy tale collection here at the library too.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah. Um, okay. And so this might be an appropriate question then. If you could live in any book universe, what would it be and why?
Hmm. I guess I would want to live. as I mentioned earlier, I really love the Discworld novels and I reread them all the time. And I think that that's the universe that I would want to live in, because it's kind of like if you think of early 1900s here, in this world, um, but the magic exists. And I think that the concept of magic is so fascinating. I would love to live in a world where magic was real.
Okay. Um, and what are you reading now?
Well, I'm actually reading a book. I don't remember what it's called, darn it. But it is a Victorian true crime novel, um, called Whipping Boy or something like that. But it's really interesting. It's about two kids who committed a crime and to go to trial and stuff like that, or went to trial, and about how it impacted and influenced the criminal justice system of Victorian England and moving forward.
Hmm, okay. Um, and if what advice would you give to anyone who wanted to become a librarian?
I think I would just say, um, keep reading, keep learning, and don't give up. There were a lot of times, I came to this career a little bit later in life. I'm 40 now, and I just got my master's degree and just got a job here as my first library job. And there were so many times that I wanted to give up, that school became too hard, and getting my master's degree became too hard, but I never gave up. So I think that the important thing is to follow your passion and just to never give up on the dream of becoming a librarian, because it's going to come true for you.
Okay. Um, and so what are you most excited about in terms of this job as well as serving this community, Haverford Township?
Well, I'm really excited about getting to know the community. I've heard a lot about the people who live here, and I think that it's going to be really great to get to know everybody who comes into the library, the regulars, and the people who just come in once in a while or just want to check in and out books. I'm really excited to get to know people and to be able to help people as they look for information.
Well, and everybody, you can get to know Amanda. She's going to be at the reference desk. So come on out and say hello to Amanda. She just arrived this week at the Haverford Township Free Library. And again, we're really glad that you're here. So thank you for being willing to be interviewed. And thanks to all for joining us for Lunchtime with a Librarian. Have a great day.